360 Hz, 27 inches, 1440p, and a beautiful QD OLED panel. This is the Aorus FO27Q3 gaming monitor, packed with many features and priced just under $800. So I want to know if this monitor is worth getting for your gaming desk setup. Now Aorus also has a FO27Q2 version with a lower 240Hz refresh rate at a lower price for those looking for a more cost-effective option. Taking a dive into the specs of this FO27Q3, we get a 3rd generation QD OLED panel with a semi-gloss coating for amazing clarity and deep creamy blacks. The gloss is really nice, but this monitor, like all other QD OLED monitors, still suffer from raised blacks and glare depending on how intense your lighting is in your setup. The trade-off might still be worth it because of that amazing picture quality. And for those of you that are worried about burn-in, you get a ton of OLED care features and a 3-year premium warranty that includes panel burn-in just in case. Colors are also awesome with a 99% DCI-P3 color gamut coverage and a factory calibrated Delta E less than 2 for accuracy. Brightness is rated at an SDR typical 250 nits and peaks at 1000 nits in HDR. Another great addition to this monitor is the dual 5-watt speakers, which don't sound that bad and perfect for those that don't have external speakers or limited space. For inputs, this monitor is stacked. We get one DisplayPort 1.4, two HDMI 2.1 ports, one USB-C with DisplayPort and 18 watts of power delivery, a USB 3.2 upstream port with two USB-A ports, and finally we have a headphone jack alongside a microphone jack. I really like the USB hub feature with built-in KVM support that comes in clutch for laptop users. The design of the FO27Q3 is fire. It has a premium and sturdy build with a razor thin OLED panel, and you get a massive heatsink that also houses the dual speakers. The Aorus logo on the back lights up with RGB, which is nice, and I love the subtle holographic effects on the back and on the front of the base. Another thing I really appreciate is the Aorus branding on the front of the screen that blends in perfectly and isn't screaming at you. The arm portion of the stand is very slim and the base has this W-shaped design. It looks cool, but it does take a lot of your desk space. The stand does feature everything you'd want: height, tilt, swivel, and even pivot for those of you that want a vertical layout. The stand does a good job of routing your cables, but if you're someone like me who prefers an even cleaner setup, and thankfully you can VESA mount this to a monitor arm. Testing out the gaming performance, I'll be using a Ryzen 9800X3D and a RTX 4090 to push out as many FPS as possible. Gaming on this OLED monitor is straight up fire. You're getting an ultra low 0.03 millisecond response time, which is faster than IPS and VA panels, and your gaming hardware will have an easier time rendering 1440p resolution for more frames per second. Depending on the game, of course, you're most likely going to have to enable frame generation and features like DLSS to get the most FPS possible. Now the FO27Q3 does not have G-Sync certification, but you'll still be able to enable G-Sync thanks to FreeSync Premium Pro built into this monitor. It just requires a few checkboxes. With VR enabled, you'll have smooth, tear-free gaming up to 360 Hz, which really benefits competitive gamers where every frame counts. If you already have a monitor with 240 Hz, the jump to 360 isn't dramatic, but it's still noticeable, especially if your current monitor uses IPS or VA panels, since the response time of OLED is much higher. This monitor delivers amazing colors and blacks, and you don't need to always play high FPS to enjoy the FO27Q3. Playing single player games like Black Myth Wukong look incredible. The only thing that holds this OLED back from perfection is OLED VRR flicker, which you might end up experiencing when you're gaming in a very dark setting, and it also happens a lot on loading screens. There are no anti-flicker settings on this monitor, so the only way to fix this is by disabling VRR, which in my case is disabling G-Sync. I do want to see Aorus start implementing features that can help minimize the effect without having to disable VRR. Now for my console gamers, you'll be able to take advantage of 120Hz gaming and VRR thanks to the built-in HDMI HDMI 2.1 ports. On my PS5 Pro, it supports 1440p resolution for both SDR and HDR. I also love the fact that since this monitor has built-in speakers, you won't have to look for alternate ways to get external sound. But if you wanted to use external speakers, you could always use the headphone jack. I think for next-gen consoles, finding a 4K monitor might be better, but since you're limited in mostly 1440p options for a 27-inch OLED, this is still a great choice for console gamers looking for a smaller screen and enjoying beautiful QD OLED visuals. In SDR, you'll have tons of presets and custom settings you can change depending on the type of game you're playing. Features like Black Equalizer is great for adjusting the black levels. For HDR gaming, you'll have many HDR options in the menu settings, which does allow you to further customize brightness and other settings, which is great. Now, to unlock HDR Peak 1000, you'll need the latest firmware F05. Measuring the brightness of this monitor, in SDR, I got a 2% peak of 1071 nits, which is crazy high for SDR. In a 100% window, I got 279 nits, which means we're getting a bit more than the 250 nit rating. In HDR True Black 400, I measured a peak of 504 nits on a 1% window and 282 nits at 100%. Switching to HDR Peak 1000 mode, I got a peak of 1079 nits on a 1% window and 275 nits at 100%. The overall brightness on this monitor for me is great, and I like the options this monitor has to customize to your liking. Text on this monitor also look great thanks to the improved sub-pixel layout. The pixel density is about 109 pixels per inch, which for a 27-inch display is perfectly fine. But had this been 4K, it would have looked even sharper. You'll have no issues browsing the web and doing productive work on this FO27Q3. Now, it wouldn't be a gaming monitor without having gaming features. There's a game assist option that lets you add an FPS counter for different crosshairs, a zoomed box that lets you zoom up to 4x called Eagle Eye, and there's even a tactical switch that changes both the size of the screen and resolution down to 24 inches at 1080p. This mode is great for those that want a more esports styles gaming experience. I really like how easy and fast the menu system is on this FO27Q3. There's tons of custom features and tweaks, but I will say that there is no option to disable downstream compression for those of you that want or need that feature off at the current F05 update. Now, you can also use Gigabyte's Control Center if you want to control your monitor through your PC. It offers basic changes, and I would like Aorus to add a dedicated skin and visual upgrade to this software to make it feel more premium. So is the Aorus FO27Q3 worth getting for your gaming desk setup? Well, if you're looking for a QD OLED monitor that delivers awesome 1440p gaming, add up to a fast 360Hz refresh rate, then this monitor is a great choice. I think it's important to also figure out the games you plan on playing and if your current hardware or future upgrades can get you more than 240 frames per second to enjoy the benefits of 360Hz. Since there's a cheaper Aorus FO27Q2 with all the same great features but at a lower 240Hz refresh rate, that may be a better value for you, especially if you don't plan on playing fast action-packed gaming. The FO27Q3 is priced competitively for a 360Hz QD OLED, and for those that don't want a matte display found on a Samsung G60 SD or even on 480Hz WOLED monitors with matte coatings, you'll find the glossier panel to be better for you. I think this monitor has an awesome design, amazing display, and great input selections to make this a great choice for a 27-inch OLED gaming monitor. I recommend it. I'll leave affiliate links down below if you're interested in this monitor or the mini tech you've seen in this video. Thanks for watching, and I would love your support with a like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Firewolf out.